Hi, everybody. It's Dan here. Tonight, I'd like to talk about why I think science is overrated. Now, the way almost everybody thinks is that if you want to learn something about diet, nutrition, health, or how to live your life, you need to go to science to figure it out. I'm going to tell you tonight why that's a fallacy. Okay, science has several problems, and one of the main problems with science and trying to get your information how to live with science is that science, by definition, is incomplete knowledge. It always has been and always will be. I mean, no matter how many scientific questions you solve, you're never going to know enough because there's just so many things we can't comprehend or don't have information for. And science, only 20% of the science that we understand is proven. So you're never going to get complete knowledge. So that's one reason why science is overrated. Another reason why is because science has to be interpreted by humans. And the problem with that is obviously pretty obvious. Human beings are very biased. They have ego problems. There's financial things to consider when people tell you things about science. And it's used as propaganda. So you can't trust the sources most of the time when you get. There's a doctor, a researcher out of Stanford named John Ioannidis. And Ioannidis did a study on studies. And what he found out was that observational trials are either incomplete, biased, or flat out wrong. That's what he said. And that's because they're done by humans who have something to gain by telling you something, or they're being paid by somebody that has something to gain. So I'm not saying science is bad, obviously, but it's obviously helped a lot to make our lives much easier. And I'm glad we study science because that's what makes our lives, gives us a lot of more free time and keeps us, protected from the elements and able to fix lots of diseases we didn't understand before. But if science is so great, let me ask you this. How did we survive 200,000 years of evolution before science was ever used as a discipline to decide, to learn about life? We survived. We survived by common sense, experience, and instinct. That's how we did it. So that's why I have a problem with most people. They don't understand when you talk about one of the subjects I talked about before, diet, exercise, or nutrition or health. 99% of people will answer with, well, go to an expert, go to a doctor. And doctors are just people, and they don't understand this either. They look towards science, and it's supposed to be based on science, but science is not the best way to survive. Every animal has instinct and knows how to survive. And that comes from their brains and instinct and experience. So, and when we lived on experience and instinct is when we were perfectly healthy. I mean, we survived that way. The fact that we're here proves that instinct and common sense are more important for survival than science. Like I said, science isn't bad, but people always look for science when they try to find answers. And sometimes a lot of answers are more accurate if you use common sense, experience, instinct, and intelligence to figure it out, or logic. The reason why whenever someone tells me something, says something is scientifically proven, I ask, what I think is, does it pass the common sense test? Does it pass the evolutionary test? That's the reason why I believe that skin cancer is not caused by the sun, because that doesn't pass the evolution test. To me, the idea that the sun causes skin cancer makes about as much sense as saying oxygen causes lung cancer. It just doesn't, it's evolutionally doesn't make sense. So to me, it's experience and evolutionary thought, logic, and common sense will tell you much more about what to do, and more about the truth than some sciences will. Because like I said, science is incomplete knowledge, and it has to be interpreted by humans, and it's used as propaganda a lot more than people would think. So, and next time you see a doctor or a scientist with a fancy name, PhD, MD, hey, they're human beings, and there's a good chance they're biased. because of their funding sources or the fact that they're just passing along information someone told them. So, like I said, science is overrated. Don't count on it. Use it to learn things, but don't be like everybody else and just assume that science has the answers for everything, because it doesn't. Common sense, instinct, evolution tell you a lot more about what's right than science a lot of the time. All right, guys, I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.